Okay, the time is now 1 o'clock. We'll call our commissioner meeting for Monday, May 1st to order, and we'll start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on the agenda today is employee recognition. We like to just thank our employees and recognize them for their years of service. And so we'll start, I've got a few here, and then Commissioners Shipman and Basinger have some as well. So Jeremy Heinen has been with Whitley County for 27 years. Cindy Doolittle, also 27 years. And Mike Christie, 36 years of service to Whitley County.
Tyson Howenstein, 25 years of service. Greg Wilkinson, 27 years of service. John Barrett, 26 years of service. And Jeanette Harold, 32 years of service.
Jason Spencer, 24 years of service. Toby McCoy, 24 years of service. Carla Horn, 20 years of service. Mike Rumsire, 23 years of service. And Scott Schmidt, 23 years of service.
And I know I say this every time, but I think it speaks volumes for the years of service, for the tenure. I think it just speaks volumes to the kind of people that we employ as a county, the high quality employees that we have, and we're very appreciative of all that they do. The next item on the agenda then is Attorney Matt Shipman.
Hi, good afternoon. The items that are on your agenda today, the ordinance, the resolution, and the grant agreement, I have looked at all those. And they all seem appropriate and fine. So other than that, I don't have anything to report unless you guys have any additional questions for me about them.
Any questions for Matt?
I have none.
I have none.
Okay, next item on the agenda is a solar code correction ordinance. You want to speak to that? If you want me to speak to that?
Sure. So if you remember, I think it's been on the agenda now for, this might even be like going on month 4. They had left out a 0 in the formula for the setbacks. However, as everyone knows, we're redoing the entire ordinance. So we're just going to take no action on that since we're just doing basically a whole new ordinance on it. So no action needed to be taken on that.
Is Nathan here? Nathan, did we get that right? I mean, do we need to vote on taking no action, or how exactly do we need to move forward with that? And did we explain that correctly?
So this comes to you from the Plan Commission, who certified it on February 16th. You have 90 days to take action on it, or else there'll be automatic action taken. With favorable recommendations, which this was, if you take no action after 90 days, then it automatically goes into effect. If you had an unfavorable or a non-recommendation, if you take no action, then it is automatically denied. So I would actually, in order to avoid additional paperwork, if you denied this, then we don't have to go through the paperwork of recording ordinances and so on for something that will only be on the books for a handful of weeks. So I don't want to tell you what to do, but I would appreciate it if it was denied.
No, I mean, I think that makes sense. We don't want this to by default go into effect, and then of course, in light of the other changes that are coming to the ordinance, then have to redo the process all over again. Yeah. So I would entertain a motion to deny the clerical amendment to the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing that, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. And that motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is Katy Fry with the Unofficial Detour and the Community Crossings Grant Agreement.
Good afternoon, Katy Fry, the Highway Department. For the first thing on the agenda, I have another unofficial detour request from NDOT. They're doing another bridge deck overlay, and this is going to be on State Road 105. So again, we just identified some local roads that we would be eligible for reimbursement should there be any damages due to traffic utilizing local roads rather than the state detour.
I have no issues with it. I would make a motion to approve the detour for NDOT.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. And that motion carries.
And I think that, yeah, that requires all three signatures, sorry. The second thing that I have for you this morning is it's titled Local Roads and Bridges Matching Grant Agreement. This is our community crossings grant that we were awarded. This is just a draft copy because it is a digital signature that I believe, Commissioner Banks, that you are authorized signer for that. But this is basically just our contract with the state that kind of outlines all the details that we've already gone through. It's the same agreement that we do sign every year. I think both Tiffany and Attorney Shipman have had the opportunity to look over it. But again, this is just an agreement between us and the state for us to be able to move forward with the grants.
Tiffany, do you have a resolution number?
I don't know that it
I
has
don't
a
think it
resolution
is.
with it, does it?
I don't believe so.
Oh, I got you. Right. So do we have a copy of that printed? Is that? I got you. Okay.
So the ask here would just be, I guess, your verbal approval for Commissioner Banks then to do the electronic signature for the agreement.
I'll make a motion to allow Commissioner Banks to sign the agreement with NDOT so we can receive our grant funds.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. That passes unanimously.
And that is all I have unless you have anything for me.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll move to the resolution. So the next item on the agenda is the amended American Rescue Plan resolution. So this amendment is, would include a request for council to allocate funds for a consultant. And the consultant is for broadband internet, for finding grant funds and for, well, Zach's here. We can invite Zach
Oh,
to talk about that. Zach, do you want to come forward?
Good morning, Zach Sand, president of Sand Strategies, based out of Northeast Indiana here. So currently work with 4 other communities securing broadband investment. So Allen County, for instance, we recently secured $25 million in broadband investment through various state and federal grants. So looking to do the same thing for you guys here. There's $700 million to $1.1 billion coming just to the state of Indiana for broadband. So selfishly, love to try to get as much of that to Northeast Indiana here and working with you guys and other communities with securing that investment through the various grants, working with providers and negotiating these various grants and the matches. So it's high level of what we'll be doing for you guys.
Great.
thank you.
Anything to add, Dale?
Well, just that, I've checked with my colleagues across the region and very encouraged by what especially all the internet providers. A reminder that they're the ones who actually get dollars. And so that's why somebody started.
Great. Okay.
Thank you. Tiffany, what's the resolution number for that?
It will be resolution 2023-10.
I will make a motion to approve resolution 2023-10.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. And that also passes unanimously. So with that, we also did receive an agreement with Sand Strategies. And I know, Matt, you had a chance to review the agreement.
We did, and Zach's seen the revisions. They went through his counsel. It is probably appropriate and okay to approve that, subject to
It would
council
be
obviously
contingent.
approving the funds.
Right.
Because they still have to allocate. But that would maybe expedite the process, because after council, then ultimately wouldn't have to come back here.
Right.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Sand Strategies contingent upon the allocation from council.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. And that motion carries. Okay, the next item on the agenda is a facilities request.
Yes, so the mayor's office contacted me last week. The fire department wants to put on some type of fire awareness event. I'm not really sure what all that entails. I do know that they're going to be, or they're wanting to build some type of like dollhouse that mimics a real house, and they want to set it on fire to demonstrate how, yes, that was, I saw your face, to demonstrate how fires move and whatnot. Chief Tom LaRue, he is out this week. I did have a few questions because they wanted to hold it at the same time as the farmer's market. And so I just wanted to make sure that it's not going to negatively affect anyone. And I guess I wouldn't want it to get out of control, and then also talk to him about if they hurt the lawn or the pavement or anything like that. So, and it's not until August. So I would make a motion to table it until someone from the Columbia City Fire Department could come and just ask or answer a few questions for us.
Okay,
Second.
I have a motion and a second to table. Anything further? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. And that motion carries. Next item on the agenda is payroll and accounts payable claims.
So I had the opportunity to go up this morning and to Tiffany's office and review both claims and payroll, and was able to find, just clarification on a couple of things I noticed, and everything looked to be in order. So there were no issues with either.
I'll make a motion to approve payroll.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve payroll. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. That motion carries.
I move to approve claims.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve claims. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. And that motion carries. This is the amended ordinance. And the last item on the agenda is the previous meeting minutes from April 17th. Has everyone had a chance to review?
I'll make a motion to approve the previous commissioner meeting minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by raising the right hand. That motion carries. Tiffany, do you have anything to add? Matt, anything to add? Real quick, I'll just add that Columbia City Connect is launching their walking tour on Friday at 5:30. This was something that they collaborated with the Historical Society, the museum, with the county maintenance department, placed the beacons, and this is something that we're really excited about. It's essentially anybody can give like a self-guided tour of downtown Columbia City by using a walking app that they can download on their phone. And it'll include several sites, like one site where there was a bank robbery and a shootout in downtown Columbia City, a barber shop in the basement, and just cool things about our downtown right here in Columbia City, like the Thomas Marshall home. And so again, they're going to officially launch the walking tour on Friday, May 5th at 5:30. And that will be at the museum where they're launching at 108 West Jefferson Street, 5:30, right before First Fridays. So we're excited about
That's
that.
the first stop on the tour, so I think they're actually going to
Got it.
do the tour. It kind of ends up around the courthouse, and thank you for mentioning that. It's
Yeah.
a really cool program. The audiovisual department from our high school are actually the one that did most of the audio and video production. So it's just another partner that ultimately came together for really, I've done about half of it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, I will open up public comment. So if anyone would like to come forward today and speak, we'll allow for 3 minutes per person to come forward for public comment. So does anyone have anything they'd like to add to today's meeting?
I'm Doug Hostler. I just got a question on where we're actually at with the solar ordinance changes. I seen a PDF file online where there was some things that were crossed out, read out. Is that being voted on today as official or?
No, we have not taken
Okay.
action on that
Okay,
document. The only thing that we took action on today was to decline that clerical amendment that we were asked to pass several months ago.
Okay.
I can't recall when, but
Okay.
when the commissioners approved the ordinance, apparently there was a missing zero in the
Right.
formula for
Right.
setbacks that could, if added, then it could have allowed for the setback to be closer to the property lines or
so the work
structures.
with the ordinance changes is still in progress.
That's right,
Okay.
yes,
That's all I need.
Yep.
Thank you.
sure.
And Nathan, is it still the plan to have that on Plan Commission's agenda this month? Okay, and what's that date? Just if you know it off the top of your head.
17th, I believe.
Okay. Okay, so May 17th downstairs at 7 o'clock. Okay.
Anyone else?
Show you what I'm talking about. So you think,
Thank you.
That's okay.
Don't be.
Mhm.
Jimmy Rowland from Columbia City. You know, for months we've been trying to find some solar panels on our farmland. And then I find this, that the city is trying to do an extraterritorial jurisdiction So this whole page has some interesting information in it. What I found was the zoning in the ETJ does usually encourage growth that desires annexation to obtain services such as more intense residential or commercial development. Like commercial to me might be solar panels. So I didn't know if the city extraterritorial, does anybody want to tell me exactly what that is?
Well, my understanding is it's the 2-mile jurisdiction, so it's it's essentially land that would, for projects, the projects would go to the Columbia City Board of Zoning Appeals or the Columbia City Planning Commission. You can,
And I'm not an expert on it because I don't represent the city, but that's basically, it has a lot to do with utilities and where the county or the city can extend utilities out and things. I don't know what you're looking at, so I can't
Oh, well.
answer a specific question, but
I could give you my papers on what happened. The meeting's tonight with the city, right? There's a city meeting tonight, as far as I know. So I was planning on going.
Nathan,
there
is
is a
that correct?
city Board of
Tonight.
Zoning Appeals meeting tonight? Or Planning Commission?
This is an item of other business, but just fair for in case somebody has any questions.
So that'd be the place to go, because I would hate to hear we are fighting to keep our farmland and the city's gonna step in and try to control, I guess that's maybe not the right word. But I did notice on this map, like north of town, they stopped at the city limits. And then they just put a buffer. But down here on the south end of town, according to this map, they went clear out to, they stopped, the city limits is here, but then they went clear out to Kaiser Road. Then they added a huge buffer. And I do know that all that area was supposed to be solar panels. So I just would hate the thought that the city could somehow take that property and try to put solar panels there. So,
I understand.
thank you.
What is the meeting tonight? Again, the Board of Zoning Appeals for
Planning
Columbia City.
Commission, Planning Commission.
Planning Commission. Anyone else?
Frank Maury, has anybody applied? Has there been any solar company reapplied? No.
No. which I
Nathan,
don't-
they
I don't-
cannot,
With a moratorium in place, I don't believe they
I don't
could
think
anyway.
They can anyway, even if they did, because we've enacted a moratorium. Is that right, Nathan? Anyone else? Rob, do you have anything to add?
I would just like to point out and give a friendly reminder that Thursday, May 4th of this week is the National Day of Prayer. And as a conservative Christian, that will be something I look to participate in. And I would encourage anyone who has similar beliefs to myself to participate as well.
That's it.
I have nothing.
And I have nothing else to add as well, so I will adjourn the meeting. Fast one today.
Yeah.